Hi, my name is Jamie Moore, and I serve as an elder and a pastor at Mariemont Community Church in Cincinnati, Ohio. And I've been asked to give this devotional, and so I just want to share a little bit about what the Father has been speaking to me. I don't know if you're like me, but sometimes I've noticed about myself, I have a tendency to not be present with the people around me. And some of it is because of good kingdom tasks that I'm trying to minister in a specific way. I'm trying to get a volunteer to be efficient in their work, or I'm focused on kingdom task. And I've realized sometimes that I'm not relationally connected to the people that are around me. And it's not just a kingdom thing. Sometimes that happens in my own family. Like I'll be around my wife and she's talking to me and I'm not present with her. I'm physically present, but I'm not relationally, emotionally present. Or my kids come home from school. I've come home from serving at the church and they're wanting to tell me about their day. And I have no more energy to give. I don't know if you're like me, but I've noticed that about myself. And Jesus has actually pointed that out. And I begin to just ask him and search the scriptures. And so I just wanted to share with you something that I've learned. When I was asking the Father about this, I felt like he pointed me to the story of Jesus and the ministry rhythm of Jesus. I don't know if you noticed this, but the gospel writers would say about Jesus, they'd say, as was his custom, he would go to a solitary place to be with the Father in prayer. And in fact, before the major moments in Jesus' ministry, the gospel writers are really intentional about showing us that Jesus was in prayer. Before he called the 12 disciples to himself, Jesus was up in a solitary place, up on the mountain all night praying to the Father. And so in my mind, I think to myself, oh, okay, so the ministry rhythm of Jesus is to make sure you do your quiet time, get alone, maybe get up early before the family's up, be alone with the Father, get recharged, practice his presence, and then come from this beautiful sort of restorative place and come down off the mountain to minister to people until you're exhausted. Like these people are just going to suck the life out of you. And just exhaust you, and then you get to go back to the recharging station that is the Father. And I sensed that the Father said to me, Jamie, that's not how I was. That's not how Jesus functioned. And I heard this phrase. I heard him say that he was doubly present. He was doubly present. And I wondered what that meant. And I realized when Jesus went up to the mountain to pray, and he was modeling a lifestyle of practicing the presence with his Father, of engaging with the Father. He didn't leave the Father up there. Actually, Jesus came down off the mountain and he took that relationship with him into ministry to others. So that Jesus didn't leave the Father and then start to engage and just be exhausted by people, but actually he took his relationship with his Father into ministry with others. And so that's what's so interesting, because I started realizing when Jesus says things like this, he says, I'm only doing what I see my Father doing. People were being healed, but other people were not being healed. And Jesus says, I'm only doing what I see the Father doing. Or I'm only saying the words that the Father is speaking in this circumstance. And I began to realize Jesus was present with the person in front of them, but he was also doubly present with the Father and the Spirit. And I realized, and I'm not great at this, I'm not perfect at this, I'm just submitting this as a helpful exercise to consider, yes, do your quiet time, but take that practice of the presence, that relational intimacy with the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, take that into your day. And when you engage with someone, you've got a human person in front of you, begin to say, Father, what are you saying in this circumstance? Jesus, what's your heart for this person? How are you wanting to minister so that you're present with the person in front of you and you're present vertically with the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit? So I believe that we're invited into being doubly present, not just present with the person in front of you, but doubly present with the first person in front of you and present with the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. I bless you with that devotional thought, and I pray that you will experience this practicing the presence of God and the presence relationally with those with whom you minister. Bless you. Bye-bye.